A very good evening, namaskar to all the viewers, learners, educators to CIT NCERT's special live phone-in program, SAHYOG session. Yes, SAHYOG, where we discuss about the mental well-being of our children and adolescents around us. And in this session, it's going to be very interesting as there is a saying which we say, since ancestors, I have been listening to all this, home sweet home. Yes, this saying we will be discussing in detail, that how family is an integral part of home. So as in this pandemic time, all of us are trapped inside homes. It's been so many months now. So we will be discussing about all the challenges which a family is facing inside home in today's live interaction program. Our viewers are watching us live on VmVideocon Channel 1 to 12, and before I start with the session, I would like to first introduce the guest who has joined us, the expert who has joined us from RIE Bhubaneswar, Professor B.N. Panda. Sir, namaskar, we welcome you to SAHYOG session.
Namaskar to you also.
And just a quick review to our viewers that in between this live interaction program, feel free to ask questions to our expert. We will be certainly taking up your questions at the end minutes of the program. You can dial on our toll-free numbers. Our numbers are 1800111265 and the other number is 1800112199. You can also watch the live streaming of this program being telecasted on our official YouTube channel NCERT Official. So beginning with today's SAHYOG session, Professor B.N. Panda, first the very foremost question which comes to my mind, that as we are discussing about students here, so what is this concept of family and home in terms of students? Please elaborate on this.
So good evening to everybody. So this is a very fundamental question, and every student, they must know that what is family and what is home. So generally home is a place where everybody has to live, laugh and learn. They stay in a particular composite place and continue with their own family members and deposit their own personal belongings. So on the basis of that, we can say that it is an enjoyable and happy place for the children to live in. So that is why we can say that a happy family only can make the home into a sweet home, because home is the basic premises for the children, and from there all type of learning, all type of development, all type of ideas are generally floated. So that is why it is an enjoyable, happy place where we can live, learn and laugh, and we can give all type of comfort and facilities when the children is at the home. So that is, we can say that basically it is an English idioms or expression, nice feelings of pleasure and comfort to stay specifically in the home. So it is a composite whole of the family members staying together, living together, enjoying together and happily sharing their ideas and views specifically in the home itself. So that is, we can simply sense, we can say that that is otherwise known as home.
Okay. Sir, as I stated earlier as well, that students are not going to schools, this online classes, this and that is happening when we are trapped inside homes. So how can these parents and family members identify the challenges a child is facing? Some measures to figure it out?
Yes. Because when we are at home, a small child, when he is born specifically at home, gradually he grows up, and there are different stages of the child career. Primary, we can say that infancy stage, adolescent stage, adulthood stage. So when the child is born, so lot of responsibilities are with the home members. So that is why love and affection must be provided to the child at home condition. If that is not provided, so hopefully that may hamper the situations which may create problem for the child in future. That is why a supportive care as well as encouraging environment we should provide to the child at home condition, because all type of values, whether good, how to respect others, how to behave others, how we can share our own ideas among the others. So that is why we can say that the value are all inculcated specifically in the home condition. And similarly, we can say that there are different type of security. The family provides security as well as the protection, and the family is the basic that means situations where all type of positive as well as, because sometimes what happen when if the family is not taking care of the children specifically at home, so lot of stress may come in, maybe positive stress, maybe negative stress. That is why a safety net, or we can say that family is a composite whole. We can get all type of safety measures from the, that means family. And in addition to that, suppose say for example language development, and when a child is born, and when he or she is told in his or her own mother tongue, so specifically language component of the child is enhanced. Similarly, that the team spirit or sharing attitude, sometimes the children, they are not able to share their own tiffin box in the school. Sometimes they don't know how to share. That is why family is the only stepping stone on the basis of which the child can share his or her own belongings to others. That is why all type of socialization as well as sensitization aspect of the human character is taken a step specifically in the home itself. So the emotional balance, because sometimes every human beings must be emotional quotient, because sometimes one if you have to remember a particular jargon or a particular word, what that means old that means famous, they have already said that every learner must be emotionally balanced and motivated at home. The home can provide all-round development, holistic development, and the child will be able to get all type of facilities from the home. That is why home scenario, home condition, we must be careful, because in the pandemic situation, all type of anxiety, weariness, fear, isolation, aggressive behavior, irritation, definitely it is coming. Even we as the teachers, a small child when he or she is at home, sometimes difficulties are there due to COVID-19 pandemic situation, health hazard, sometimes weariness, anxiety, fear, problem, because now suppose many places, one of my friend Amitabh could not able to join because of this that means difficulties. So sometimes students are on, that is all type of pandemic situations are there. So that is why when there is a pandemic situations in the home, so we must love them unconditionally. There should not be any condition behind. Providing love or giving a love to the child is the first conditions of the family members. Whoever he or she may, whether poor or rich, makes no difference. Whether we can say that educated or uneducated. So loving a child makes no any other issue. That is why unconditionally we must love to make his or her mental beings will be good one. And we must listen first. What is the problem of my child? What he or she is going to speak, and how to take care of this problem. So we must listen. We should not give advice always, you do please, particularly you listen carefully, you do this, but no, nothing doing. So listen the child and take a second and give reply. Don't be very, that means worried that everything will be done within a minute or so. So it is not possible. That is why let them do the things on their own. So when we can provide facilities, at least basic minimum things, or a love and unconditional, that means support, and good environment, it has no cost. If I like my child with inner voice, there is no harm. So that is why we can say that taking care of their diet, implementing healthy routine life, if we can manage that, we can say that dine with them. What is the harm? If can take my child will sit with me and have a dining with, there is no problem. So that is why help them in study, sometimes build trust with the child. So we can do many things. So home, that is why home is a sweet home. Home can provide correct measures to make the human life more comfortable and harmonious and sustainable and all-round in nature. That is why we as the parents at home, whether it's a mother and father, we should take care of our child. So that is all we can say, that we can bring the mental wellness of the child more sophisticatedly and systematically, which will be helping them to become a good citizens in the future times to come. So that is the...
Right. You said that it's helping the children to become good citizens. So here you discussed several times that learning is happening at home. So if I ask you that in this pandemic time, the challenges faced by students, be it in the online sessions of the classes or being trapped inside the homes, they cannot go out as well to play. So can this environment within a family, can it influence learning outcomes as well?
Yes, yes, definitely. We can say there are several issues. Suppose I will say start with a research program. There are number of research scholars, researches have already been conducted in the whole world as well as the country. They are comparing that home environment and the learning of the learners. So all these study, more or less, it is giving the information to the society or findings. We are saying that if whole environment is congenial, then learning is better and faster and durable. But always all the whole environment will be congenial, sometimes difficulty. Sometimes we can say that there may be a home situation, because it is a joint responsibility of the teacher as well as the home condition. Because when the child is coming to the school, that means the home, mostly we can 7 to 8 hours a child is there, or 3 to 4 hours a small child is there in a school. So school is also having the similar responsibility as well as home. Number of hours may be there at home, but 12 hours we can minus. So 7 to 8 hours or 6 hours in school and 4 hours at home, actual effective learning. That is why all type of personality, because your endomer peak or ectomer peak or mesomer peak, what a person will be, whether he will be ambivert or he will be an extrovert or he will be an whatever, that means shy nature. So all type of personality characteristics are taken as shape at home, which can be also reflected in the educational institution. And even we can say the life skills, how to communicate others, how to coping with the strategies, or how to we can say that problem solving ability, or how to make a critical thinking, or how to solve the problems without having any a single, that means different varieties of answers. So problem solving ability. So we can say that life skills taken care of both jointly at home as well as the school condition, because that problem solving ability, because our purpose of home is to guide the learner or their small kids or that means child. When they are coming to the school, the responsibility of the school is to make a shape. And shaping means developing all type of life skill qualities so that a learner can able to learn effectively and able to come out successfully from the education institution. That is
right.
Or emotional, what I was saying, emotional quotient. Your social aspect is also essential, physical aspect also essential, but emotional quotient is also essential. If the child is not emotionally, that means sound and perfect in the educational institution, sometimes it may affect the learning. That is why it is a joint responsibility. At home, we should not be irritated enough. We should be lovable, as well as we can say that we can control the emotional difficulties of the learner in the educational institution. That is why that fitness, sometimes we ask them, why you take your own child, go and play. Sometimes some restrictions are there. Previously, you might have seen that, madam, that your telephone or your mobile is banned in the educational institution. Everybody, no, teacher was saying, no, you cannot come with the class, the mobile. Now it is the essential component, what we are doing. Everybody is allowed to have a mobile, otherwise it is not possible. That is why what we are saying sometimes, how it is practice can be taken care of in the educational institution, that must be taken. That is why fitness. So let us have a play at home. Allow the child not to make the no, you cannot play with, you cannot go, you are, that means you stay with me. That family members, if they will adopt this particular policy, sometimes the physical fitness also one of the essential requirement for the child development. So we have to develop the confidence, and sometimes also leadership quality, what we are doing now. So we can say that the school can shape to become a leader on the part of the individual. So that is why as a home environment, jointly both home as well as we can say that school can take care of all type of, because all these researches, all the, that means studies, they are saying that if the home environment to some extent at least palatable or a congenial in nature, so it has its direct impact on students' learning. So at least whether it is directly helping or indirectly helping, so every parents definitely at home must be supportive, must unconditionally support their own child and help them, so that we can say that children's learning in the school with the support of the home. Sometimes parent-teacher association meetings are going on. Sometimes teachers are coming, parents are coming and saying, my child has not done this particular task, can you? So interaction, there should be a positive interaction between the school as well as the home, because generally 70% schools are located in the rural villages, and the school and the village, it is the same place. and all the parents, they are members of that particular, that means family, or we can say that members of the school committee. So they can discuss and interact, because ultimately we should see that in pandemic situation, or may not be pandemic situation, child must learn. The learning outcome only we can, not on the basis of remembering the fact, rather how the child is developing the ideas, the cognition, affection and psychomotor, how he is participating in the learning process. So the participation is important, so that we can say the learning will be better.
Absolutely, participation is very much important, parents here, and all the adjectives which Professor Panda has said, it can be inculcated if you talk to your child. And Professor Panda, if I talk about the stress or anxiety which you just said that children are facing this stress problem due to online classes and anxiety within them as they are inside home. So are there any measures that how can a child develop this interpersonal relation with family to ease out this stress and anxiety?
Yes, because in the that means a pandemic situation, generally stress is inevitable. Nobody can say that I am not in the stress, whether adult or young or a small child or class going children or may not be. So all are some way or the other affected, and stress is there. So that is why, because maybe I have already said there may be positive stress and negative stress. Negative stress means all type of tension will be there. Positive stress means motivation will be there. But anyhow, when the child is in the stress, there are number of factors are responsible. Maybe we can say that family is responsible, or maybe school is responsible, or job sector is responsible, or we can say that means the neighbor is sometimes also responsible. But anyhow, to ease out the stress, at least at home, we can talk to the child, share the feelings, what the feelings he or she possesses. We must talk with the parents, that the child must allow to talk. Because sometimes some of the families I have marked, their children are unable to speak to their mother and father. They don't have time. But that is not that is why, if we want to ease out the stress from the minds of the, that means student or children, so every, that means a small child or anybody is at home, they must share their own ideas and views very effectively among themselves, and help and advice from elders. Sometimes a small child may be committing mistakes, so we should not find out that committing mistakes is an error, maybe, but as a parents, so we must see, as an elder members of the family, so we must provide all good advices, so that how the error can be reduced. Sometimes allow them. You might have seen that, madam, many places, many of the family members, that jointly now cooking. I have seen many audio and video. A small child is running, and their fathers and mother, brother, sister cooking, gardening, supporting, and they are studying. So they are jointly taking the responsibility. That is one of the most important. So that is why sharing the responsibility with the parents also, sometimes we can say that it will be helpful, because the caring, sometimes we have guided why you take care of your grandparents at home.
Right. Professor Panda, we just have 2 minutes left for today's session. I would like to ask you about some strategies as well to make this environment of home quite amicable and happy environment. How can we make this environment happier?
Yes. At home, you see, there are number of that means opportunities we can provide to the child. Say for example, suppose yoga and prayer. Suppose we are doing yoga. Is there in harm if there is a yoga? If somebody is participating, it is a physical fitness of a particular person. If a prayer does not mean that respecting a particular religion. Satisfaction, mental satisfaction one will get. If I am doing a prayer, there is a positive bent of feelings automatically will enter into my mind frame. So that is why sometimes some discussion, reading that means we can say that a very, very good book, maybe we can say that which you like most. Suppose say for example our past president Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Kitab, Wings of the Fire. Suppose somebody is reading, so one can get an inspiration. That is why we must persuade our child to read, at least read and learn, and that practice is to be practiced at a home condition, and not one meditation. Or sometimes if the parents are doing, sometimes the students can the small child can come and sit with me first day, second day, third day. So that is why play with the child. What is the harm? That is
Right.
the harm. If I play with the child.
Absolutely,
Sibling or-
Professor Panda. These are wonderful measures you are telling our viewers. I'm sure they will practice this inside their homes to make the environment happier and amicable. And it was really wonderful to have you for today's SAHYOG session. The discussion was very fruitful. Thank you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to everyone.
And to our viewers, as Professor Panda said, family, if it is a tree, then all the family members, I'll say, are like the branches. We might grow in different directions, but the roots remain the same. So try to make the environment at home happier with your presence. Talk to your children. This is the only way we can make this environment amicable. Keep watching us on PM-eVidya channels for such live interaction programs. Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you very much. Namaskar to